too. I'm just curious from your perspective, just how Jack's handled the week with the green dot and the play calls and everything else that you guys are asking him to do with Alex.
Oh, he's done, and it's not just him; it's the whole group. Because the green dot will be switched kind of depending on personnel, who's out there, and things like that. Jack won't solely be the guy wearing the green dot in this game. We obviously going to raise the role of a number of players in this game, so you could look out there and in any moment, any time, it's a variety, a combination of linebackers this week. So Jack won't solely wear it, but I have full confidence, and I mean it's full confidence. Jack's prepared. Is he ready for that? I mean, that's a joke to ask that if you ask me. He's more than ready to handle that. It's literally simply listening, hearing, and repeating what was just said on the microphone. Like, I think people overlook, like, I'm serious, I think people give too much credence to this green dot thing. Like, you listen, what did I just hear? I repeat it to the other 10 guys, and then
But it's also
kind of
checks and things that.
yeah, but all linebackers, I don't operate like that with my room. All linebackers, you'll look at any moment. Alex has never been the only guy making checks and communicating with the defense. I will never stand for that because there's no way Alex could get it to the far corner on the other side of the field. All guys on the grass are responsible for making checks and signaling everything on every down and distance.
Do you have to have a presence like a quarterback, though, in the huddle, the defensive communicator?
Yeah, the guy that wears the green dot hears it and he repeats it. Like, it's not like this Ray Lewis thing where he's making audibles and all this stuff. Like, just make sure you can hear it and repeat what you just heard AG say. And we should be all good.
How often has Jack won it this season? How often has Jack at that?
I think him and D-Borns at some point both has had it. It's been in those moments where you've seen Alex leave the field. Now, Alex has played, I think, around 95% of the snaps, so that's a limited sample size. But we've, dating back to camp, been preparing these guys for this situation.
Different guy in your room, kind of new, not new to you, Bruce Irvin. You've known him for a long, long time, I guess. What does he bring to the room? What does he still have at 36 years old?
I mean, outside of the fact that I'm amazed at the things that he can do at the age that he's at. He's a year older than me, actually. I don't know if a lot of people know that. But we grew up together, a longtime friend of mine. So I knew the makeup of him, and I knew the moment Brad and Dan had a conversation with him, they were going to fall in love because he's everything that this organization is about. But on top of that, he's won in this league. And that's something coming into that edge kind of rusher room, that room, you look at the makeup of that room and you say, who's really won? And I'm talking real winning as far as, obviously he's won a Super Bowl in Seattle, but consistently being on over 500 ball clubs and outfits like that and knowing what that looks like. Walking into a room with Cliff Averill, Micah Bennett, and all these guys and knowing what that looks like to be a pro. And he's just added that value on top of guys like Charles and Rowe that already was showing him. He's now brought in that championship mentality. This is the only way to do things. It's not on this day we're going to raise it and then, oh, my body's hurt. That's the only way to do it every day. And I think that's something he's been on top of these guys. You know, he's a big guy. He's not just going to open his mouth. So his first week or two here, he's been kind of quiet. I was like, you can speak up. He was like, Shep, you know how I am, man. Once I know I'm out there, guys see what I can do, then I feel like I have merit for opening my mouth. So he's growing in that role. Hutch, Charles, those guys have done an amazing job trying to get him up to speed. So when his number is called, he's able to contribute and help us out.
Time. You only played 1 year of high school ball with him?
Yes.
Okay. What is it like to, I mean, you've coached guys that you played with before, but this goes back way.
No, this is surreal. We've had our whole community right now. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but Preston Smith from the Packers is also from my high school. So we actually took a picture pregame and Preston and those guys posted it. And it's just surreal. Like even Preston Lucas, I was like, damn. Shep, you the coach. And I'm like, yeah, don't say it like that. I'm like, but those guys, like, it's serious. But I think it allows all the other guys, when I'm able to hold Romeo accountable and they know I was his teammate for 3 years, we used to hang out, go break bread together. And now a guy that I've known since high school who we're literally peers and in every sense of the word, and they hear how I'm on him and they hear how he's being held accountable. But, I mean, that's been since day one. But being able to do that with somebody that's truly a close, dear friend from growing up, it's actually a very unique and special thing. And I'm rooting for him, obviously, like we all should be here.
How much do you marvel at what Malcolm's been able to do, you know, taking on that role and having his time split that much with the offense and then coming in and he could probably play a bigger role but still being a piece of special teams, too.
Unbelievable. like unbelievable. And I stopped my meeting, I think it was 2 weeks ago, to point it out. Because, you know, you get in this thing where, you know, we all know where Malcolm was leaving last year and coming in this year, and the way he's humbled himself to just whatever y'all need. And he's having fun in that. And when guys do that, I told him from day one, when you do that, when you operate like that, opportunities will come. And what do you know? No, we didn't want Alex out. And no, Malcolm, I don't want nobody to think Malcolm's getting an opportunity because Alex is out. Malcolm deserves this opportunity. And I think he's shown that in any role you put this player in, and I stopped the room to let them know what he's doing, the value he's bringing. He's occupying 3 roster spots right now. Fullback, linebacker, and a 4-core special teamer. I think around the league, I only know one other guy that's doing that, and that's Nick Ballure out in Seattle. And just coincidentally, they both wear number 44. And when you're able to do that, I mean, now Brad is sitting back. Now I could play around with these spots, you know, if we need to be heavy here, light here, because of what Malcolm is bringing. He's a 3 roster spot guy. And I mean, the value of that speaks for itself.
You guys have had really good road support this year. It's not always been quiet when you guys are on defense on the road. In a place like the Superdome, is that something you account for and prepare for going in, is maybe not being able to hear on defense?
Looking forward to it. I grew up in those environments. I'm not sure if you know, I went to LSU. I won a national championship in that same stadium. I am looking forward to this. Probably not as much as Dan, but I'm looking forward to it. I told guys to embrace it. Like, as a true competitor, especially in the game of football, like, you feed off that, especially as a defensive player. We hope they're loud. So then their offense has trouble. I mean, that'll be bad ball on their fans if they're all rowdy and loud when Derek Carr trying to make adjustments at the line. But we'll appreciate it, and we're going to thrive in those moments. And then vice versa, the offense, they live for that. These guys like Saint, Panay, these guys, I watch them work. I watch how they operate in these hostile environments. They're almost better when they're in those environments. Like, and it's a weird thing, but true competitors, they've raised their level of play in those type of hostile situations.
From a communication standpoint, is there anything you have to prepare?
And that's why you got to prepare for hand signals and things like that. And that's something we've done all year because as we know, we've had probably every week has been a home game for us. So we have to prepare to hand signal and credit our fans because we have to hand signal at road games. And we want that to continue. So nobody worry about our communication. Just continue to raise the volume when we're out there, and we'll make sure we get the right calls out.
Just to go back to Jack for a second, obviously, like any rookies, his first season's going to have some ups and downs. Just curious, is there anything in particular that you want to see him improve on, and maybe anything that you have seen improvement upon?
I mean, the thing is, how hard he works, it's going to naturally happen for him. What I've said to him from day one, man, you just got to relax a bit because in a way, you could be so tight-wound and so, like, perfect in your craft that you're holding yourself back from some things. Like, and it's hard to do. It's a fine line you juggle when you're dealing with a player like this. Close friend of mine, Luke Kuechly, I tell Jack a lot of times, and I think they've had conversations, he reminds me of him. But what Luke was able to do was you saw Luke relax out there, like in those states. Intense. Now, relax. And then that allows you to open up. Like a lot of times people don't know, but sprinters, like everybody think they're tightly wound. Those guys are relaxed. Watch when they're running, they're breathing, the body mechanics. You can't be so tight wound because it limits your ability to make certain type of plays that I expect that player to make.
That seems like probably a pretty challenging to do it, almost psychological.
Absolutely.
Is there any mental exercises that you've
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Hutch has all this stuff. Told Jack, go stand in the light. The light will directly affect your neurological system. Y'all got to get with Hutch on this. But, I mean, we're going at all stretches for Jack because everybody just understands what this player has brought to our defense is a level of expectation that practice, walk through game, no matter the situation, this is the standard. And I think before it's playing it, like that standard of play has raised the level. And guys don't know what to say, but Alex, like you take Alex in a dark room one-on-one, like why do you think your play has exceeded? Because I see these younger players and they're attacking every single rep head on. And when you're doing that, it just makes everybody better.
As somebody who's played the position in the NFL before, whenever you're talking to a rookie, I mean, a lot of people make a lot of the wearing the green dot. But whenever you've played so much football, how much do you help him with that mental side of the game going into an opportunity like this?
I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm very open when I talk to y'all. What I tell y'all is what I tell those guys. Listen. Repeat what you just heard. Don't make any more of it. Because guys, and these guys watch the media and stuff, you kidding yourself if you think they don't see it. And now, Jack Hammer, the pressure's on, Alex out, green dot. Listen, repeat. Listen, repeat, and it's the other guys that's out there with him or D. Barnes, whoever's wearing that green dot, to echo the calls and to help them with the signals. It's a 11-man thing that's on tap. Because obviously we lost Alex, and that's no, I'm not gonna slight this like that we didn't lose anything. But to my opinion, I told the room, we should take a step up. It's just the way I'm wired, the way I'm built, and to have Alex, wait a minute, I got to get back. Those ain't there. And then that's when you create that environment where everybody's doing this versus everybody sitting back trying to hold your ass and hope we get through this week until Alex gets back. No. We're going to raise the level and put the pressure on Alex. You better hurry up and get back, Enzo, because these guys about the ball. And I think that just interjects to other people, other rooms on the team. And I tell them all the time that we're the engine.
Can you just speak to the task Alvin Kamara is? It's from the linebacker position. I mean, 54 catches, leads all backs, can run inside, outside. What kind of challenges he pose for your unit?
He's no joke. He's no joke, and I'll tell you, I train with the player, full disclosure. Sharif, y'all saw him doing all the balancing stuff. Well, that's with Dr. Reef down in Florida. That's 10 minutes from my house. That's where we all trained at Teddy. All of us was at the same place. So I've seen this guy work. And that's the thing. It's like seeing Jack Campbell work versus seeing him just on tape. When you see these guys work, it like raises your respect for him because he's a special talent, but talent only gets you so far. When you see the way this player works, you better prepare for this player because he can affect you in multiple aspects of the game. And I've talked to multiple people, Teddy Bridgewater, for example, that says that player could play quarterback if he wanted to because he knows what everybody on the field is doing. And that's what allows AK to, in my opinion, hurt you so much. His ability to read coverage on the run, kind of like you see Travis Kelce doing at the tight end position. He's doing that at running back. And I mean, from the run game, pass protection, this is a complete player and a complete back that we have the utmost respect for.
When you look at this defense, as a whole, not just your unit, but, you approach this last stretch where everybody's saying y'all trying to play your best ball in December.
Absolutely.
What's the way to, what ways are you trying to, get consistent with this defense down the stretch? Like, what areas do you think you guys do need to get consistent, just as a whole, not just your unit?
Just remember what got us here, guys. First 6 games, last 5 games. First 6 games, last 5 games. Remember what got us to these 5 games. And let's throw out these 5 games here. And I don't want to hear about turns out that it's our job to put the fires out. We're the firefighters of the team, in my opinion. If it's a fire on the field, we go attack it, we run in there head first, and we put it out. And I tell the offense all the time, you guys, JG and these guys, don't go sit down too long. Because in a play or two, you're going to be right back on the grass. And just having that mentality, it doesn't matter the circumstance, and just eliminating the explosive plays. I think when I say the first 6 versus the last 5, the huge difference is the explosive plays and things like that in the game that we had limited tremendously in the first half of the season. I think if we just go back to remembering what got us here, guys, and throwing out those last 5, I think we'll be just fine as a defense.
I think you could definitely say defensive line guys up front have taken a lot of the questions for the lack of sacks lately or them just coming in bunches, even though they are getting a lot of pressure. So where do you see linebackers factoring into that equation, and what is their responsibility that you tell them on a daily basis?
That we have to affect the game when our number's called on. Obviously, I don't want these guys just shooting gaps because everybody, the narrative right now is we can't get to the quarterback. Well, I would like to look at the pressure rate of our guys versus other guys in the league, or what guys view as the top guys in the league. Pressure rates, that's affecting the quarterback. Yeah, obviously, we all want sacks. That's obviously. But how are you affecting the quarterback? Getting them off the spot, forcing a bad throw. All those are like the uncharted things in the game that are very critical to the success of the secondary, of the LBs that's in coverage. You get the quarterback off the spot, he's not in his natural progressions. You force him in like adverse situations. So just continue in there. AG has done an unbelievable job. When I tell you in the 3 years, my growth as a coach is directly tied into Aaron Glenn, because his behind the scenes showing you, understanding, and then always being able to answer the questions of why. So I just think and I get it, the numbers, the expectation for the players is to be top in the league. But at the end of the day, teams are scheming and doing certain things to try to eliminate our top guy. We all understand that. And AG's doing the proper things to make sure that we hit this December, January stretch to affect the game at a better rate as far as the sack production and getting the quarterback off the spot.
What have you not done the last 5 games or whatever that's allowed some of those big plays to happen that you were doing, early on, those first 6?
I think discipline, as far as mentally and eye discipline, keying what you're supposed to key. I think you get into this deal, you start to be looked at as one of the top teams. Okay, now, it's just a natural thing for a player. Nobody's right or wrong for this, but I want to make the play. I want to be the guy to make that stop on 4th and 1. No, just do your job. And if you got that tight coverage deep instead of going, or if you're the linebacker that's supposed to be in the A gap, but I thought I saw something, stay in the A gap and do your job, guys. And in totality, when that guy makes the TFL in the C gap, it's going to be because he didn't have the gap that you were responsible for to run through. So it goes back to, and it's a boring saying, and I'm gonna do your job, but it's a part of doing your job, eye discipline, just keying where you're supposed to key. And I think you'll see those explosive plays start to trend more towards the first 6 weeks.